Alrighty, today I will be installing this Ermax sports screen for my 2017 FZ09/MT09. Screen goes on top of the headlight assembly and it mounts to these 4 bolts. As you can see, those bolts attach to the bracket, and then the bracket attaches at these points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. Hardware supplied for the screen are your 2 brackets. I have them basically in the orientation that the screen will go on top of, like that. Short closer to the tire, long closer to your instrument cluster, and the screen will go onto these flat portions. So you got your 2 brackets, and you've got these threaded rubber grommet thingies, and you've got 4 larger Allen bolts, 4 smaller ones with 4 washers. And tools you will need are just 2 Allen keys, 2 wrenches. I actually don't know the size, I just fitted them because my toolbox is very unorganized. And on to the next step. So this next portion confused me a little bit because I wasn't sure how the screen was secured to this, seeing as only 1 bolt is going to go on top of the screen and then down into these rubber grommet style things. These actually have a threaded inside, as you can see there, so they will be tight and attached. The smaller Allen bolts will be attached to this with the screen in between. What I realize is that when you torque down the screen with the smaller bolts into these, because of the shape of the screen, which is curved like that, it's going to apply pressure on both sides, and that will cinch it down so that essentially this rubber bit here will be at an angle. So it'll have some flex and it hopefully won't pop out. So what we do is, this is the left side, and we're going to put these 2 in here. See if I can do this one-handed. This is going to go into this hole. Just kind of wiggle it in there. Alright, there's 1. And here's 2. And there you have it. This part goes to the bike, and the top part is where the screen connects. As you can see, it's like that. Just repeat for the other side. Alright, looks like I was slightly mistaken. You will need 3 Allen keys. This one here, for the next step, is for the stock bolts. All 4 of these are going to come off, and once they come off, we're going to put these brackets on. Alright, so here is the first bracket on, and it should be noted that with these bolts just like almost all the way down, but no torque whatsoever on them, there is some movability with this bracket. So my suggestion would be to make them both in the same orientation, either up or down. I think down is probably safer, and then see if it torque it down, and then see if it fits okay. And this cell phone. Alright, so what I actually decided on was to push these brackets both equally as far as they will go this way. So you can see the bottom one, and the bolt is slightly over the bracket, and this one's slightly over the bracket. So I'll see how the fitment looks with the screen on top. And for tightening, on my Allen key, I did not do it with the short end in. I just did it hand tight until I'm not able to turn it very much this way, because if I do it the other way, I probably over torque it. Alrighty, Next bit is to put these washers on these smaller screws. So I'll do that now. Alrighty, washers are on, and these washers will protect the plastic or whatever it's made of from being scored or scratched by the screws being torqued down. Alright, so these two screws, I started with this one and then I did that one. I watched an Italian video and he did it in this way. You kind of have to make that rubber like level, flat, and then get it going. And then the second one, the bottom one, you need to kind of move the screen around a little bit so that it's flush, and then just get it to catch a little bit. So it's still pretty loose right now, maybe 1 or 2 turns. And now on to the second one. Okay, I reconsulted that Italian video, and if you do 2 sides first, or sorry, both screws on one side, when you go to try to connect the other side, you can't actually, the eye line doesn't line up. So what I did is I took out the bottom one here, and then what you have to do is slightly kind of grip the screen and pull it, and then thread the bolt through here. So now I've got one on the top and one on the top over here. And if you look at the rubber grommet back here, it's actually kind of like a, I don't even know what the word is for that, flattening out there, adding a little bit of a rump. I think that's how these things are designed, so that it pushes out once it goes to a certain torque depth. And I think when I torque this one down some more, something similar will happen. And I'm going to put the other 2 in too. Alright, it turns out that with hand tools this is not nearly as easy as it seems. Because this thing is bending a little bit, I did these 2 first and then tried to do these 2, but these ones caught easy, and these 2 I had a lot of problems with. So what I ended up doing is essentially kind of squeezing here and applying moderate pressure so that the screws could catch in the metal portion of these rubber grommets. And what I ended up going with is just a little bit of thread showing on each one. This one may need a little bit more, but they all have the equal amounts, more or less. That one has a little bit extra, that one maybe need a little bit, but it's nice and firm on there. I would say that, and none of these I used the short end, I did all the long end so that I'm not putting a ton of pressure. I'm gonna say that it's pretty good there. I mean, it's just wind, and it has these 2 holes for a little bit of ventilation, a little bit of shock absorption, so to speak. And I think it looks pretty dope. Okie dokie.